I was never aware of any other option than to question everything. This is a quote from Noam Chomsky, who surprisingly enough is still teaching at the University of Arizona and nearly 100 years old. This quote embodies so much of Chomsky's work throughout his life, and I hope to share some of that with you all today. I was introduced to Chomsky for his takes on the Israel-Palestine conflict. I've been studying politics for a few years now, and Chomsky is a name that is often mentioned in these conversations. Chomsky is a prominent figure in many fields, notably linguistics and foreign affairs, where in each he has been a spearhead for new ideas. Chomsky first grew to prominence in the field of linguistics, where he founded many new ideas, his first and most notable being that of the concept of universal grammar. This said that humans' ability to communicate was innate. He said this because as children we learn only a few words, but can then form an infinite number of complicated sentences very quickly. He observed this across many different regions and cultures. This changed the way some linguists looked at the way we teach children how to speak and write. Chomsky also believed this to be universal because he noticed this across all borders. He believed there was some genetic predisposition to language that humans had exclusively. This was revolutionary in the 1960s when published, but has since been challenged. Nevertheless, though, it really shows how well Chomsky embodies his own quote and seeks to question everything we deem to know. Another example of Chomsky challenging standards is present in his book, Manufacturing Consent. In this book, he criticizes mass media and the way in which it is corrupt. One of the points he used was that media is profit-driven and must serve its financial interests. Building upon that point, he also said that its profits come from advertisers, and media must cater to its advertisers. Advertisers then can control what makes the news and what doesn't. Lastly, he stated that mass media often uses buzzwords to drum up outrage with words like anti-communism, and much more recently, war on terror. This shows Chomsky's willingness to challenge institutions larger than himself, and that carries through to my next point. Chomsky today is most known for his political takes and activism. He first gained notoriety on this during the Vietnam War. During this time, he spoke to many people about the U.S. involvement in the war and was very opposed to it. He also wrote his first book during this time, American Power and the New Mandarins. He was later arrested for participating in an anti-war teach-in outside the Pentagon. He most notably has opposed the U.S. involvement in the Israel-Palestine conflict and has been very critical of Israel specifically. Chomsky seeks to create a democratic state in the Levant, a region in the Middle East where both Jews and Muslims can live peacefully. He also, more recently, has been convinced of some more two-state solutions to solve this matter. Prior to the Iraq War in 2003, Chomsky was already noted as saying the war on terror was not new and simply standard American foreign policy at that point. He was very critical of our invasion of Iraq and toured across the world saying so. Noam Chomsky is without a doubt one of the most influential people of the 20th century. He was involved in cutting-edge theories in the field of linguistics in the 60s. He later wrote a book that heavily criticized the media and has been a powerful mind in all foreign affairs for the last 60 years. I think the quote, "I was never aware of any other option than to question everything," is the perfect statement to describe Noam Chomsky's life.